Some say that this is where the purest form of hockey happens. On the 10,000 ponds that dot the Minnesota landscape, legends are made, futures are played out, and while visions of college titles, pro teams, and winning cups race through the minds as they play, there's one dream that is closer to home. A dream that starts at mites when they first put on their hometown hockey jersey. A dream that grows right along with them through holiday tournaments and summer camps. A dream that brings teams, families, and entire communities together. A dream of playing in the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. For those who grow up in the state of hockey know that making it to St. Paul for 4 days in March can mean a lifetime of memories. This is the story of two teams chasing that dream. State.
When you look at the sport historically speaking, Canada says they invented the game. I think there's a few people in Roseau, Minnesota that would contest that idea. War Road, Minnesota, they say that's one of the birthplaces of hockey as well, and they made Christian Brother hockey sticks there for so long. Minnesota represents the culture of hockey.
The mining companies brought these immigrants, the Croats and the Swedes and the Finns and the Italians together, and they didn't speak the same language, but they needed something as a glue to hold these communities together, and hockey was that glue. These little towns had these palatial hockey arenas, and hockey became this incredible thing that binded the communities together, and really it trickled down from there to the rest of the state.
High school hockey in Minnesota is giving an opportunity for kids all over the state. Looking back when 1959, we didn't have high schools in southern Minnesota, western Minnesota. They were basically up north and really just starting to a larger level in the Twin Cities. Every place that you play hockey, especially if you look at North America, Canada and the United States are very similar when you look at amateur hockey. But Minnesota is really unique because of their high school hockey program. That sets them apart from everybody else. You come to the tournament, who's playing this year, and there's so much drama. You got the rich kids from the private schools, the Brecks, the Blakes, the Hill Murrays, the Cake Eaters from Edina, the Eden Prairies, the rich kids from the western burbs, and you contrast that with the Iron Range kids, the kids from northern Minnesota.
You know what we used to call it? We used to call it CC fever, for Civic Center fever. And once you caught that fever, it just was crazy. It was like inspiring in so many ways. The same thing with the XL Energy Center.
And that was kind of, I think, my first main goal as I got a little older, towards Pee-wees and into high school, was let's win a state tournament. Let's get to the state tournament at least once.
I just think there's such an exposure. There's so many good players from Minnesota that have came through the ranks and had an opportunity to play at the tournament. I think they do a great job covering it TV-wise. So whether you're a young kid or you're around our state somewhere, some place, some facility, you're watching the game. It's on at hockey rinks throughout the state. It's on in school. I remember being a kid, being in an English class, and our teachers had it on in school. So it was like this dream that you could play there. And obviously it used to be right here in St. Paul where they had clear boards. There was sort of something mystique about that. And I had a father who coached multiple teams in that state tournament, so I was able to, as a kid, to witness that and see it. And it was just something that you hope to do. And I think if you could do that, you were going to do it with your buddies, the buddies you grew up with your whole life. And it's something that, obviously when you get there, you want to win, you want to do well. But I think the whole experience, that whole week of spirit with your school and your buddies is one of the highlights of growing up and the experiences I've been lucky to have in hockey.
It's tough to win a state tournament, especially in one elimination type games. You got to be on your game all the way through to through sections, and then constantly through the state tournament. It's not an easy task.
The tournament is magic. As a sports author and historian, I've been to Rose Bowls and Super Bowls and Final Fours, and they're amazing. But there's something special about the tournament. The river towns were the original historical places in Minnesota, all along the river, back to before Minnesota was a state. In the 1850s, we can chronicle and trace back sports to Stillwater. First with baseball, later with hockey. Amazing to see the momentum that community has built around their hockey. The bridge, the community, the tourism. Phil Housley was their former coach, an amazing, iconic hockey player. Contrast that with Eden Prairie. The new suburbs, the new kids in the block, you know, Mike Grant, Bud Grant's son, running all those programs and getting all that top level talent, creating a dynasty program with football, with hockey.
People always ask me, how do you build winners? And I think winners are built through tradition and through family. And I look at Stillwater this year. If you take a look, there's some names that people remember. The Sagasaurs, I remember one time he played at Wisconsin and at Hastings. Yeah, and you take Bukestead, now that's an uncle. But I mean, those types of things.
You had great families that supported hockey in Stillwater for so many years. The legacy that the Hubbard family has here is phenomenal, right? And what I realized is that they needed more help. We wanted to take that mentality of just a place for kids to play hockey and then develop hockey players. The mentality has changed. And what it's done is it's created a culture. And it's a culture that is about success. What's most important, they stay here in the community. They go to school at Stillwater.
I often tell people that the most important thing of a youth coach is to keep the kids playing the next year. If he does that, he was successful. Too many times it becomes about the coach. It's not about the coach, it's about the player. And if the players keep playing, then you're doing your job. I think when I took over here a long time ago, the first thing I wanted to do was be able to compete with the other schools by being able to skate with them and have the skill level as them. We were behind the Bloomingtons, the Apple Valleys, the Burnsvilles, the Edinas at that stage, but we all worked hard to create a better player. And now if you play in our system, I think we give you the proper nurturing, the proper coaching to be successful, and then also having these kids to look up to also gives them a dream, and nothing better than to dream.
For a long time, the teams from the north were the Goliath, and the teams from the south were David. Then as these schools got bigger and the programs got stronger and the rinks got more plentiful, then you started developing more hockey players down here. And now the smaller towns that don't have the numbers that the bigger high schools have in the Twin Cities, now they're the David against Goliath.
I think every kid growing up has that dream, and they can see that it's possible. So many Minnesotans have made it to the show. They've hoisted the cup, they've won Olympic gold medals, they've reached the pinnacle, and then they get to come back and give back. But for every kid, it's about that dream.
Just growing up in Minnesota, everyone wants to play in the state tournament, and to think I've already done it twice is something really cool to me. And it's probably the two best memories of my life, I guess, being able to play there and growing up going to it and then actually getting to go on the ice and be a part of it. And it's even better than you think it would be when you were young. So it's definitely something special.
We went out on the ice, myself included, and just went like this. You know, looking up at the scoreboard and just in awe. You know, just you know, I told the kids not to do it, and I did it. You know.
During the national anthem, just kind of taking that second to look up and seeing all the people in the stands. I thought that was just one of the things that it was just amazing to me. This continues to happen year in, year out in the state. That the state tournament's just that big for everybody that everyone fills the stadium up.
It's one of those events that attracts grandpas, grandmas, grandchildren, moms, dads, every generation, and it's been passed on from maybe a grandpa that played in the state tournament to his grandson that's playing now. And I think when you see some of those patterns and the people that are around it, it's really, really special.
All the things that I did in my hockey career were fantastic in so many ways, but it would have been fantastic to be able to win a state high school championship.
Playing in a state tournament is important for every community that has the opportunity to have their high school in it. Then going a step further, if you're ever able to win it, it's something that community is going to be proud of forever. It's going to be in the annals of sports of their city, their town, whatever it is, forever, because it's a very unique title to win.
The program that we have at Prairie is something special, and we thought that if we all stuck together and stayed throughout our senior year, we'd have a pretty good chance of winning the state championship.
I mean, a lot of people just expect us to be in the state tournament just because they're used to it, but if you take a hard look at our section, it's probably the best section in the state. It has been the past 2 years. You can't overlook them, because next thing you know, you could be done.
In the last 3 years, we've been to the state tournament twice. We didn't get to the state tournament in Stillwater the first 54 years of its existence. Tradition becomes success. That's what we want in Stillwater.
A story going on forever now, but there's no more, in my mind, no more David Goliath, because these programs throughout the state are really strong. They got hockey players all over. It doesn't matter what corner of the state you go to, someone's playing hockey and they're playing very well.
We've been playing together, most of us, for our entire lives. Kids like Casey Middleset, Nolan Sullivan, Noah Duraney, Tommy Hartle.
But I don't think there's another sport where guys are asking to hang out every day outside the rink too, whether it's a day off. We'll probably end up spending the night together tonight, even without practice.
These 7, 8 guys I played with my whole life are the reason we fell in love with the game, and we all fell in love with it together, so I figured one more year with them can't hurt.
I'm extremely proud to be able to be a captain of this group of guys, and I mean, I wouldn't really want to captain any other group of guys. I mean, it's the love they have for the game and the compete level that they show each and every day in practice, and then in the games. I mean, I wouldn't really want to lead any other team. I mean, I think it's pretty important for me.
For me, in the stands, looking at the names in the back of some of those jerseys, you know, Noah Cates and Luke Manning, and Jack Mapstone, and Matthew Stanton, and TJ Sagasor, and Jesse Bukestad. Those are kids that we coached in squirts.
The biggest thing is, when you've coached as long as me, you hurt more from the losses than savor the wins.
Even the guys going on to juniors in college, just to see the emotion and shame, that feeling of losing, is something that sticks with you. It's something you don't want to see again.
When Prairie won in 2009, I think it boosted the program as a whole, not just the high school part of it, but also as a youth. And kids wanted to grow up and be like Nicoletti and Kyle Rao and things like that, so it boosted as a program as a whole.
Yeah, last year gave us some great experience and some great memories, but coming into this year after some disappointments from last year, it kind of got us hungry and got us wanting more, and kind of want us going back to the tourney and get even further.
Some people talk about teams being a team of destiny. I had the opportunity to play on a national championship team, and I know what it feels like when that mojo gets going in the locker room, and you just feel so powerful. You don't care who you play against. You just want to play. That's the way these kids are.
I just always enjoyed the game, and if you don't have that love and that enjoyment, then you shouldn't be here.
It's amazing what you can get kids to do. If they believe in themselves as a group of young men in a room.
Playing hockey is all about being a dreamer. You know, I think of Herb Brooks and his favorite movie, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. We're the makers of dreams, the dreamers of dreams. We should be dreaming. We grew up as kids dreaming, but then we got old and things changed. I think Herbie, you know, he dreamed big. He said, we can do this. We can beat the greatest hockey team ever assembled in 1980, the Soviets, a team that hadn't lost in 20 years, and he convinced these kids to dream big and that they could do it. And I think every kid growing up has that dream, and they can see it, that it's possible.
So winning a state title, it's something special. It becomes legend.
To put ourselves in a position to win the state tournament is the #1 goal.
Kind of learned it's not that easy to win a championship, especially in this league, so coming back from losing the year before and winning the next year would be something special and something that people would remember for a very long time.
Hopefully we learn, you know, how important it is. You know, we win that first game, you get into that second game, and you know, no matter what happened, no matter what's happening, you have to be ready to be your best, because if you're not, even for one period, your tournament, your state championship hopes are over.
First year we went to the state tournament, the first thing I did was call Willard Eichla. I said, what should I expect? He said, Tom, expect this. A player that you won't expect is going to come out of nowhere and be unbelievable. And he said, secondly, one of your best players is probably going to really let you down.
One team standing, and it takes luck, and it takes skill, and it takes effort, it takes discipline. There's so much more to winning a title than just showing up and being better than the other team.
Enjoy the moment, have passion. You have to have passion if you want to succeed. And when you get in the tournament, enjoy what you're doing, because it's a time that goes by very quickly, but it's a time you're going to remember for the rest of your life.
When we picked the team, beginning of the year, we picked them to win games like tonight, where it's two really good teams going at it, but we got our Warriors, the team that we thought would come out and be on top. Play with swagger, play playoff hockey. We want to be the #1 seed. Let's earn it.
Every little kid who plays hockey wants to play in the NHL. But as they grow up, those dreams become more real. And I think one of the most real hockey dreams in the state of Minnesota is winning a state championship.
I mean, you watch on TV as a kid, you know, when you're a mite and you see those guys in the state tournament, you're like, I want to do that someday. I want to be on TV.
There's a certain sense of pride that Minnesotans take in hockey, and we're the state of hockey. And I think we believe that, and we act like that, and we have that spirit that's who we are.
Go here, hey, right away. Hey, first 5 minutes, hey, let him know right away here. Hey, jump all over him. Good talk on that bench. Let's be ready to go. Get him buckled up.
Matt has a lot of passion for the game, and it just rubs off on us. He gives us good feedback to get better and better every day.
You only attain things by working hard. If you think you're going to get it in 1 year or 2 years, it may happen, but that's luck.
Of course, we know in the back of our minds that the goal is to win a title this year, is to finish the job as our seniors.
I mean, I think we really do have some unfinished business, and we're pretty determined to get back and really make it worth our while next time.
Demand excellence of each other.
I do believe that we have the talent, we have the depth, we have the experience, we have the guys willing to do whatever's necessary to win it, and to win a tough game in a big moment at a big time against a good team.
There are certain things in life you can't buy. This is one of them.
What happens when you turn the puck over at the blue line, Charlie Strobel? Nothing good. It's like being out after midnight. What good happens after midnight? Nothing.
They do such a good job being prepared and being focused that this group in particular probably needs just a little bit of that levity. It's not always like that. Some teams are too light and they need the steel boot, but this group in particular, they're prepared, they compete, they know what they need to do.
Playing the game because you love it, and so I mean, I think you still got to be competitive, but you also got to realize that you're playing the game to have fun, and you're playing the game to build memories.
We thought we could win every game. We believe we're going to win every game.
My dream right now is to win a state championship. That's my main focus in life.
Take it one day at a time, and just gotta trust the process and trust that every day if you get better and better, your potential will lead you to where you're supposed to get.
There's not one team that when you get to that moment that doesn't want to beat you bad.
My motto's been to raise 3 banners, and that's conference championship banner, section banner, and then state championship banner.
This team is just kind of coming together to be really special.
These kids have a burning desire to be successful, and as a coach, our job is to try to keep that fire going and ignite that fire. We started off and things were easy, and then we hit a rough patch and we dealt with some adversity. But through it all, we stayed the course of what our goals were, which are to be the last team standing.
Making the run that we did last year was awesome. Obviously not ending the way we did, but we've got one more chance as seniors, so that makes it even a little bit more special.
I think about it every day, I guess, and it kind of helps me stay motivated and stuff like that, and remember what we're trying to do here.
As a freshman, we just talked about how we want to all stay together as a team and kind of build our team chemistry throughout our high school career, and now being seniors, we're looking forward to trying to get back.
This team has a lot of characters. Not many teams do we have that have 12 seniors, but this group is a special group as far as the way they get along, the way they work together. there was no other way for us to go about it but to keep all those older kids because of the way they respond to one another.
I gotta say, play of the game, Nick Wicksack.
Every year the captains get to pick what we put on the back of our jerseys. We actually started using the quote, Coach Smith started using the quote saying it's time to start sacrificing for your guys. If it's going to be on the practice jersey, it has to become true.
They all have their little roles and they're all important in unique ways. You know, Casey may be in the forefront, but there's other kids that are great leaders within that team.
Definitely Levo's, he's the leader of our defensive core, and it's obviously can't really imagine not having him back there. He's been back there as long as I can remember.
Casey obviously has had a tremendous career in Eden Prairie, and he's had opportunities to go other places, so it's great to see him back. I mean, his offensive capabilities and his hockey IQ make it pretty easy to be on the ice with him. And then other players like Nolan Sullivan and Hunter Johannes use their size and their strength to their ability, and it really clicks well when they're playing together.
In 1983, Sports Illustrated ran an article titled "The Thrill of a Lifetime," introducing the Minnesota State High School Tournament to those outside the state of hockey. The author E.M. Swift described it as something he had never seen before, going on to write, 36 colleges purchased seats to the tournament, and a good showing by a player is a virtual guarantee of a scholarship offer. NHL scouts who have found such stars as Steve Kristoff, Neil and Aaron Brod, Mike Ramsey, and Phil Housley at the tournament in recent years also flocked to the event. Last year, the NHL drafted more players out of Minnesota high schools than it did from the Quebec Major Junior League. But peddling talent to the pros isn't what this tournament is about, not remotely. And 34 years later, his words still ring true. This tournament is about so much more than the number of NHL names that pass through it. At its core, the Tourney is about fulfilling dreams. Dreams that start on rinks all across the state of hockey.